What's going up, YouTube? Welcome to another edition of Tips on the Beat with D.Royul, where I, D.Royul, will be making a beat, and I'm going to give you 5 tips to help give you an insight into how I made it, and hopefully give you some new creativity when you make music in your own life. It is episode 10, everybody. I am so grateful to God for 10 episodes, 10 ideas, and this idea for number 10, it's actually going to take us back all the way to number 1. The very first episode, I did a beat. I called it Aftermath, and it spawned an idea for this one that we're going to be doing today. If you want to take a look at that episode, go to the top right-hand corner. You can click there and you can go back to that first episode. But there's a form of that song, right? I think it's the last section before the last chorus. I used an instrument that was kind of like a horn sound, and I'm playing around with it, and it gave me an idea for another beat. Now, this has happened to me many times, so we're going to start off with this first tip. Use previous songs as motivation or inspiration for new ones. When I'm searching for sounds, I could be going through my drum kits, or I could just be going through instruments, and I'm playing around, and an idea comes up. And so what you do, you open up a new template or open up a new project, and you lay down that idea real quick, go back to what you were doing, but so that idea can sit there and you can go back to it. So that's exactly what I did with this one. So now that we've got our first tip on the board, let's get into how the beat was made and see how it came together. Alright, everybody, tip number 2, create a dynamic drum pattern. Now, I didn't show you all of what I did. That was just half of the verse. But the drum pattern that I'm doing, none of the 4 bars are the same. So essentially, I'm doing a 16-bar loop where each bar is unique to the rest of it. And that's about creating a dynamic drum pattern so that the listener isn't guessing what's coming next, that even the beat not throws them off, but it keeps them engaged, it keeps them listening. And by doing that, it even makes you think outside the box a bit. Like, you're not just making a loop and then copy and pasting. You might copy it to the next verse, but even then, go in the second verse, change it up a bit. Make the drums unique to the place in the song. You know, each bar, you know, it's not going to be the same if you were to copy and paste or if you were to fold the song over to the next part. And that kind of outlook helps you to think of the song differently and think of making the song in a whole different way, because you're not doing it the way that you may have been doing it before. You're thinking of things on a larger scale, and by thinking things in an entire verse, it may have you come up with ideas for different chord progressions, for different melody lines. Who knows? Start from there, since the beat is the foundation of the song. Alright everybody, tip number 2. Having an instrument play throughout the song can be an effective tool to create the atmosphere for the track. Most of the time you hear me talk about how dropping instruments in and out. But one thing I have not mentioned before is that when you have one instrument that plays consistently through the track, though it may change to follow a melody or the new sections of a song, when you play it through the whole thing, it creates uniformity. You don't want to do this a lot, but for the specific track, the bass line, I never take out. I have not taken it out at all, and I don't plan to. It's going to be the underlying foundation of this track overall, meaning as the things come in and out, the bass staying there helps glue the track together. And so when you do that, you want it to be on purpose. You want it to have a reason why you've done it. So don't just do it just because, laziness, but have an actual idea of why you're keeping that instrument playing through the whole thing. Have it be part of the overall vision of the track that you're making. Alright everybody, tip number 3. Make the chorus a big focal point of the song. As you saw, there was a build-up in that little pre-chorus section, and now the chorus is here. It's big, it's got chord progressions, it's got chord changes, even the beat changed up a bit, the instruments are at their high point, and the whole verse leading up to this point has led to this. The intro, the verse, the pre-chorus, and this chorus is now a focal point of the song, meaning when you get here, it's a big experience, and that's what you create in the track, the way the instruments sound, even the melody choice, the chord progressions, like it sounds like it's a big and important part of the song. And so going into making the chorus, you're thinking, how does everything connect to this one point? How do all the points of the song connect to this one moment that will come back maybe 2 more times? But every other part is to come back to this event, the chorus. So you want to make it big and make everything connect to this, so that this is the anchor point in the song. Tip number 5, write a melody line for your chorus. I mean, A lot of people think about making beats for rapping and such, but if you notice, rap songs have singers on it. And when you're working on a song that possibly might have a singer on the hook, you want to think about, okay, what kind of sound would I want on this track? Meaning, if someone is singing, how would I want them to flow with the melody, with the chords? And so what I just did was create a sample one. Whether this is exactly what is used or not, this is an idea. And ideas can be branched off from. You know, you can have an idea and then things change up a bit, or when you're sitting down in a writing session, they may adjust this or that, or even the singer might hear something different based off of what you presented and you provided for them. So, you know, play around. Think about it. I didn't just come up with this in one take. I was going through the notes and I was like, oh, I don't like that, I don't like this, I changed this here and there. But I actually kind of like this one, so this is going to stay for now. So think of possible melody lines to go with your hooks if you're thinking of someone possibly singing on it, so you can help them out and they don't come in on a blank slate. And there you have it. Another episode of Tips on the Beat with D.Royul is in the books. Now let's go over the 5 things I talked about in this episode. Number 1, using previous songs as inspiration for new ones is a perfectly viable situation. If there's an instrument that you like and an idea comes out, open up a new project, lay it down, let it sit, go back to what you were doing, and then expand upon it later. Number 2, create dynamic drum patterns for your verse or for your whole song. It creates a very unique sound and it brings versatility to your entire track. Number 3, make sure that you are having an instrument that plays through the entire song as a foundation level. Now remember, this is not something you do all the time, but when done correctly, it creates a bottom foundation level for your entire song so that it can create this atmosphere that the entire song is built around. And when you do it purposefully, not lazily. Have a reason in mind why you're doing it. Number 4, make your chorus a big event. You know, make it a real powerful and impactful part of your song so that the song itself builds up to this moment. And number 5, you want to think about writing a chorus melody line when you have your chorus together. You know, play around with what a singer could sing if there were to be one on this. Play around with some ideas. Stretch yourself, because it's what I do so that I can become a better musician and a better creator. So thank you so much for watching. Remember, everybody, creativity has no boundaries. Use your God-given gifts and talents to create something fresh today, but make sure you're having fun while you're doing it. See you next time.